Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, wow. So, breaking news reaching us tonight involving boxing superstar Anthony Joshua. Officials have confirmed a horrific car accident in Nigeria involving the former heavyweight champion. While details are still emerging, authorities have tragically confirmed that two people lost their lives in the crash. Joshua is reported to have sustained significant injuries and is currently receiving medical attention. This incident has sent shockwaves through the global sporting community and across Nigeria, where Joshua um, is always being received over the past maybe several months. But right now, he has maintained deep roots, as we've known over even the several past weeks, even while he was going through the fight that he had with Jake Paul. Anyway, beyond the tragedy of the loss of life, how does an event of this magnitude impact the image of safety for a high-profile diaspora returning home? We're going to get into some analysis right now. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So, as we were saying, there's headlines across Nigeria, across the world. Ex-boxing champ Joshua hurt in crash, two killed. BBC Anthony Joshua's promoters say two team members killed in Nigeria crash that injured Anthony Joshua. New York Times British heavyweight boxer Anthony Joshua involved in car crash in Nigeria. Welcome back, sir. So, my question again is very, very simple. How does an event of this magnitude impact the image of safety of our high-profile diaspora returning home, especially during this dirty December period?
Thank you, Ola. First of all, we're wishing everybody traveling on Nigerian roads and elsewhere across the globe, there's desire that we all pay attention and we just be mindful that crazy things happen, like parked trucks, like broken vehicles, sideways. We just have to be careful, and then all kinds of. Just always remember that that other driver may be crazier than you are, and always regard. The first rule is the sacred rule of driving is the fact that imagine that the other driver is the loony on the highway. That said, this is really big, and it's something that could cause some scare, some fear in any potential traveler, whether in Nigeria or here. But first of all, let us rework the captions greeting this British heavyweight. Anthony Joshua is British Nigerian, or Nigerian British. So does that? Yeah. So Nigerian British heavyweight boxer is the one that is involved here. However, let me put it this way: yes, major international headlines are saying two fatalities were recorded. At least two people died there. But a supposed eyewitness that sent us some audio clips and pictures that are just too graphic for anyone to want to display indicates that the teammates that were traveling with Anthony Joshua they are of Caucasian descent, probably Europeans. So, sad enough, it's been said that after every victorious fight, after every victorious encounter in the boxing ring, Anthony Joshua has over the years developed an attitude or a ritual of quickly dashing home to say hello his to his father somewhere in the what's it called, in the outskirts of Lagos, particularly in Ogun State, Shagamu, and it's so sad that a stationed articulated vehicle by the wayside, God knows what kind of speed, whatever could have been the issues, whether speed bump, whatever this could be that had led to this, but excessive speed could not be ruled out concerning the magnitude of impact noticed in that sports utility vehicle that was also said to be the armored type, that is bulletproof. So for the impact to have been that big, it would mean something. Now, for those of us traveling on Nigerian roads, the rule, first of all, is that if you've been outside Nigeria for a considerable length of time, you don't just get into the country and jump behind the wheels. Driving on Nigerian roads in itself requires, exceptional skill. You must talk of exceptionalism when it comes to driving on Nigerian roads. You understand this fact? So we do not know if these persons that were traveling with the illustrious boxing champion Anthony Joshua, we do not know if they were behind the wheels directly or if they were not. Probably there was a local chauffeur that was rendering some service in respect of this fateful journey that has now led to this situation. However, what we know is that Nigeria has had in place for almost 39, 40 years now, the Federal Road Safety Commission that's supposed to deploy its personnel around the 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, manning not just highways, but interstates all over the country, making sure that drivers are in their best behavior during festival period. So all these things should be put in perspective as to whatever could have led to this. Whether we're talking of people returning from the diaspora to savor the unique festive period in Nigeria, or we're talking of citizens and residents of Nigeria that are always in the country, honestly, everybody's just to be very careful. And there should be a better awareness concerning road use and enduring situations on those roads. Now, one thing that this could also precipitate is this attempt at doing something about the bad situations that are visible, that are demonstrable on Nigerian roads. I think going forward, somebody like you and I, or Anthony Joshua, God willing that he comes out of this, in spite of his injuries, fit and sound, probably he would look at it and, okay, something better. There should be an improvement in the way roads are constructed, the way roads are maintained, the way roads are used in Nigeria. The other angle, which is already pervasive, is for somebody to do nothing in terms of engineering, in terms of imagination, in terms of quality of materials used for construction, in terms of who gets the job done in Nigeria, and then people who embrace crass metaphysical excuses and explanations. Oh, it's always the case that whenever he wins about, he comes back to Nigeria. What's he coming there to do anyway? Probably those, they always have a name for them. They probably got him enchanted. Maybe they, they probably It was at their instance or at the prayer of a coven. That's why it's always now they got him. They got him. Exactly what they probably have always, but that is just too escapist. That is too simplistic. And it is more than that. It's about a vision. It's about planning. It's about how, the total picture, an holistic system that means, that dictates and means that things are better handled and done in terms of governing a nation. Running highways, interstates, inner city roads, and all kinds of feeder roads and what have you. It's a science on its own. And Nigeria was going to have a railway, a specialized university some time ago in Daura. We hope, beyond having specialized universities, existing departments, faculties, curriculum or curricula should focus on how people should use roads and not make roads points of carnage where lives avoidably.
So just quickly,
not be lost. Thank you.
Sorry to interject there. The two associates, their names are Shinogami, and the other one is Latif Ayodele. So, those names are sounding like they might have roots in Nigeria as well.
In Nigeria as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are his best friends, and they train together. One of them is his personal coach. One of them is I forgot what they call it, but they are part of the team. But they are the usual guy who came to Nigeria with him over the past 2 years or so, whenever he visited. And it seemed like he's been taking some particular special interest in Nigeria, In fact, there's a picture, I'll see if I can find that picture. There's a picture of him receiving an award from President Tinubu, and President Tinubu has also released a statement about this earlier on today. Maybe at the last segment we can review that statement. But yeah, it's a very sad situation.
So we never can tell. Pictures sent to us about them. Like I said, those pictures were too graphic. They were too gory for us to want to throw out here. We just have to use the rule of self-censorship to make sure that we do not do something that could assault the mentality and sensibility of our people, of our audience. Now, some of those pictures, those pictures were showing people of Caucasian, but Nigerians, they were just saying Oyibo. So they could be mulattoes. They could be,
it's just racial. They are what you might describe as racially ambiguous. They are probably mixed.
Of a mixed race. So,
yes.
So these are the things. Whichever, any loss of life, any human loss, always diminishes every one of us, because we all belong, as human beings. So sad. So condolences to the immediate families of the two colleagues, to Mr. Joshua, that were sadly lost. But again, lessons must be learned from this, so that Nigeria can be attractive. But it's not even about the culture that must be imbibed on how we use our roads, on how the roads are maintained, on how we keep people safe on those roads. Having good road linkages and the road as a cardinal infrastructure also got something to do with how we drive tourism and the optics we project to the potential or prospective visitors or travelers around Nigeria. The point here being made is that the package has to be total. Also, you look at the quality of sanitation when you travel Nigerian roads, and I know this firsthand as somebody that have traveled those roads and somebody that have also reported on tourism, culture, and what have you. We need to do something about those things. Apart from the hazard of getting killed, the possible hazard of getting killed on those roads because of speeding too much or any other thing, armed robbery, since that could just happen, then you find open defecation everywhere, keeping the place clean, the entire country clean, making sure that standards of hygiene are not personally high, but corporately high as well, would be a good welcoming input for encouraging more international visitors, expatriates, and Africans in the diaspora to always want to visit Nigeria. Such a good place to visit, but this is really
we'll assess that more maybe later on in this show.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's your last statement. Let's just pray for Nigeria. But ladies and gentlemen, hit like, share, subscribe, and follow. Turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back. Elon Musk predicts 12 years of Trump-Vance rule. So the tech billionaire and key Trump ally, of course, Elon Musk, has made a bold and highly controversial prediction about the future of the United States government. Musk is now publicly forecasting a 12-year reign for the Trump-Vance administration. This timeline suggests not only a successful second term for Donald Trump, but a guaranteed 8-year follow-up for Vice President J.D. Vance. With Musk growing influence in the Department of Government Efficiency and his unprecedented access to the White House, critics are calling this a blueprint for a dynasty, while supporters see it as the necessary window for a total American overhaul. We've seen political dynasties before, but never with this much Silicon Valley backing, right? So question for you, is Musk's 12-year vision a reality or a digital pipe dream?
And the question for is, what is the source of this story that is, our guide?
The story is everywhere.
I know, but this particular one, I know what I'm
No, these are extracts exclusively from here.
From us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. So
the story is, the source is, as you know, it's probably a tweet from Elon Musk.
That's why the story's got some high raising what do you call it, qualifiers there. For example, guaranteed. Did you see where that occurred? Saying probably is guaranteed. What's guaranteed about it? The only thing that can guarantee anything for anybody, if this must not remain digital pipe dream like you were trying to point out. The people that can guarantee that the rest of us American voters get it. For anybody to want to just people can fly an idea, and that is agenda setting in journalism parlance. Agenda, there is no crime about flying such an opinion, considering the fact that in the past he sold the idea of Donald Trump coming back, pumping enormous amount of money to back that kind of wish
agenda,
and then the agenda, and but do not forget that it wasn't as if there was a landslide. I think Donald Trump was able to just run away with the presidential trophy, the victory, by some 1 point something percent. So it's not as if it's not as if the victory was really overwhelming or landslide or sunslide or moonslide like they want the world to believe. Now, what does this suggest? Since it's not about the vision of what had been tested with American or majority of American electorates to have a scientific conclusion right there.
Mm-hmm.
What this suggests is that, maybe Elon Musk is getting consumed with this thought in his head that, ultimately, he is the one that sets the agenda for the vast majority of us American voters, which is not true. Yeah, I mean, before he single-handedly did not make it happen. For Donald Trump himself admired a kind of a phenomenon. His playway campaign tactics. It's like he's joking, he's making fun of people doing all kinds of, and then somehow he's hitting into the subconscious of the electorate or his wing of American voters. So to now come this second time, I feel like J.D. Vance is going to receive the baton, make it a dynastic kind of arrangement. America is more than that. I mean, America may appear like, the unexpected can happen in our electoral process. But do not forget that America's exceptionalism touches on so many things, including the probability of voting into office the unexpected or the least expected winner. So this could, I mean, if Mr. Elon Musk would just chill out a little bit, look at himself, and then this so-called influence about what he's been able to do with the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, I think he should begin to also think critically that whatever reforms took place there, was it really acceptable to the vast majority of American people? If what the next election is going to be, or maybe let's look at the next round of midterm elections, 2026. Let's see what happens concerning congressional seats, senatorial seats, if they are able to keep a hold on the majority that they control in those, I mean Republicans control in the Congress, then maybe Elon Musk will say, okay, beyond what anybody can see, my crystal ball is telling me that I can really influence the views of people to get this done. But single-handedly, it cannot just think it loud and feel like, that is the way it works in America. Do not forget that at this time, everybody is looking at a panoramic view of events flowing from the American presidency, from the White House. Everybody is going to look at, okay, how am I faring under this government in terms of my personal economics? How is the nation faring with the far-reaching reforms being introduced in terms of immigration? How is that touching off on rural communities, farming communities, where fewer hands are being engaged to till the fields in terms of farms? And then people are also going to look at the impact of the tariff, the tariff thing pursued doggedly by Donald Trump since coming into office this last 12 months. So these things are really going to be the driving dynamics for the decision of Americans to know there will be 12 years of unbroken.
To answer your question, sir. To answer your question,
right.
The source is actually Doge alumni reunion, something that they said happened in early December. So it was one of the statements that he made. But quickly, in addition to that, it's an in-house thing. So,
viewpoint.
But in addition to that, there's a report here on the Daily Beast saying J.D. Vance has reportedly spent much of Donald Trump's first year back at the White House doggedly trying to keep the president and Elon Musk from tearing one another apart.
True.
Amid his explosive divorce from the MAGA leader earlier this summer, Musk only dropped much trumpeted plans to form his very own America Party, following a secret intervention by the vice president and his team, according to the Washington Post.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
don't forget that. Do not forget that Elon Musk has always been a big financier for JD Vance. In fact, the person who introduced him to politics, and from what people have always said. So please continue.
No, that was it. That was it. Just wanted to drop that in there for you because you were asking about the source. Yeah.
Yes, things got so tense between the President Donald J. Trump, and his close political ally, Elon Musk. And you also should understand that at some point, everybody was even thinking that, are things being transposed now from the vision of, what's it called? White minority leadership in old order South Africa to having this South African born person influencing critical decisions, key decisions in this current White House. So all those things are hanging there. And the other one that would really shape what people feel. Are people really comfortable with the international policy, the foreign policy of the current administration? In some places, it's been really getting so feisty and launching attack on individuals that Donald Trump considers a state enemy number one as countries, and then even introducing some, what's it called, immigration policies that shut out a major race from not just emptying into the United States of America, slowing it all down, and then listing some countries as countries of concern. So all these things going on, and do not forget that America has used its military, what's it called, fear in places like Syria, like Iran, like in Venezuela, and as at the last count, the Christmas Day strike in Nigeria, trying to, strike it into the subconscious of terrorists and all kinds of criminals in that country that business is over, and is enjoying the collaboration, according to Nigerian government sources, to make things happen the way Donald Trump wants the world to be reshaped. So all these things will now be what will be on the menu for all of us American voters as the days that we expect to come, maybe holding government accountable through ballot, or reckoning by way of saying, we approve or disapprove of the far-reaching reforms, including even putting the judiciary on trial in the United States. Have we been comfortable with everything we have seen? Some form of complacency on the part of the Congress. So ultimately, it won't be Elon Musk deciding anything. It will be American people. So 12 years, possibly so. Maybe this is the last second term for Donald Trump, and probably that is when Americans will say, let us have a change of baton, and then J.D. Vance may have to go rest for a while and prepare for his own future without running on the popularity of Donald Trump. That's my take on it as it is for now.
All right. Let us know your thoughts. Shout out to Natu. Shout out to Marriott. Marriott says 12 years of sleep. Shout out to Christinelle. She says she just subscribed.
12 years of slavery? I did not say about slavery, but I may be of a discomfort. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. We'll be right back. All right, federal government writes off massive debt, $1.42 billion plus 5.57 trillion naira NNPC owed. So we're looking at this special report, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. Wow, Jesus. The federal government has just dropped a financial bombshell that is leaving economists and taxpayers breathless. In a massive debt write-off move, the federal government has cleared a staggering 1.42 billion, not naira, dollars, and 5.57 trillion naira owed by the NNPC. This clean slate comes at a time when the average Nigerian is grappling with unprecedented inflation and a rising cost of living. While the government argues this is a necessary step to reposition the national oil company for global investment and transparency, the optics of such a massive bailout are sparking outrage across the country. Is this a strategic masterstroke to save our energy sector? I mean, this is just another Dangote slash. What is going on here, sir? What do you think about this? Is this good or bad, considering the overall state of things?
Well, I own up to not being an expert economist, but as somebody that also was keen on the
that news from Punch Nigeria's, by the way. Punch Nigeria.
I know, and Punch, if it's coming from Punch, you can trust it. Anyway, they haven't paid us for that promo. Anyway, they didn't pay us for that. I mean, if a news organization or platform is good, it does good. Punch is one of Nigeria's best. Now, the point I'm making here is that I have an understanding of economics to the extent that I studied that even up to advanced level, the HSC structure in Nigeria in the past. Now, what I'm trying to understand here is that economics itself is a social science. It does not come with with the certainty of what's it called? Physical sciences, like say mathematics, physics, engineering, biology, chemistry, and all that. That is why economists will tell you that this would happen, this could be the expected result, all things being equal. And as is usually equal, that remains a polemic, because you may most times find out that things the variables will never be equal, But what are we looking at here? Was this loan secured during Mele Kyari's time? Are Nigerians not supposed to still be waiting the actions of the government in terms of probe and investigations to that tenure? And what do they know that we do not know? What do some informed members of the public know that the government should be availed of at this point? But to me, my elementary understanding of economics tells me that this is bad. It is bad. Because when those loans were secured, or probably whatever was the revenue that was kept with them, that disappeared like that. To what end were these instruments deployed? What did the money really provide for the critical mass of Nigerians and the system? Did it just disappear unaccounted for? If it was spent on something, were we making were we spending money without putting in place contingencies for having good return on our spendings? Whatever this is about, I do not think it is good. But they know some things we do not know, and this is why they are called leaders, whether elected or appointed. We are waiting for further explanations, for further notes, and on what on what this money was spent on, or if the money was taken outrightly outside the system without the due process, without them being properly retired. We want to know. We just want to know because
they've given on this report here, right? They've given on the report published on Punch Nigeria, they've given a little bit of what we know that most Nigerians are not going to read.
Like what?
So President Bola Tinubu has approved the cancellation of a substantial portion of the debt owed by Nigerian NNPC, of course, right? So they said this is contained in a report titled Report of October 2025 Revenue Collection presented at the Federation Account Allocation Committee. And in the section headed Recovery from NNPC Limited Outstanding Obligations, the Commission said the debt early reported at the October meeting stood at $1.4 billion. And then there's a 6 trillion naira plus to different bodies. Now, it disclosed that the presidency had now approved that most of those balances be removed from the Federation's books. So this is, they're moving numbers from one balance sheet to another balance sheet, right? But they're trying to present what will look good for a global investor, if you will, you know. So it's probably similar to what America would do when they print money. You just come out and announce a different interest rate, and before you know it, the money in your pocket is now less in value, right? And then they might call that a write-off a certain amount of debt, you know.
But indirectly is a way of maybe making the hapless majority of the people to pay without being.
Someone is going to have to pay for that. Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm driving at here is that this thing that looks like it's being written off in a substantial way is going to cost something. It's not free of cost to the Federation account or to the average Nigerian taxpayer. This is the point I'm making exactly. So the question now arises: why is it that governments, whether in the United States or in Nigeria, why is it that they do not operate an open book with the citizens? Why is it that things are not really made very clear, not too obvious for people to know that, okay, exactly this is what we're talking about. This is the cost to our pockets. This is what it has done to our system. And this money, did it disappear or did it really fund some critical stuff in Nigeria? We know that at the moment, Nigeria is waging a kind of war on all manifestations of crime: terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, gangsterism, or what do you call it, cultism, all those kind of things. Nigeria is trying to have a huge pushback. Are this efforts, this initiatives, this fight against malaise in the society, are they really taking a toll on what's it called, monies in the system, military spending, and other sectoral commitments? So these are the issues that must be weighed, considered, and then really get some conclusions from those who are minding the system, and then letting the citizens know that we all are not being taken for a ride. So this is, our expectation is that the government will be less opaque, more transparent, and deliver the good of democracy and good governance to average folks across Nigeria.
I mean, the reality is that these numbers are going to get more complicated as time goes on.
Definitely.
The average human eye cannot, the average human attention span is going lower and lower, and the numbers are getting more complicated. So you can see we're moving in two different wrong directions here, you know.
That's right.
So I don't know, you've posed some really, really good questions in your submission, but I think it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough because somebody's going to have to pay, and sometimes the way the citizens pay for that is a hardship.
Mm-hmm. And for some of their ideologues, for people who push all kinds of excuses for them, who tender apologies on behalf of leaderships across the world, they would say, "Oh, what is his IQ? Maybe 5%," and all that kind of nonsense, instead of just operating on the same page with Nigerians. Because you look at them, whether elected officials or civil servants, they can boast of having huge villas here and there, and then, oh, journalists, what do they have? What do they know? But we do not wear that arrogant pride of journalists even proceed like somebody that knows nothing or next to nothing, and then would assuredly.
I can still hear you. You can hear me, right? You can hear me, right?
Yes. What happened?
Okay. Just making sure you can hear me. I think you might have almost received a call or something. Continue. You're good. Yeah. You're good. Don't touch. Don't touch. Don't touch. You're good. You just touched it. Don't touch it. I can't hear you anymore. I can't hear you anymore. No. I could just see your mouth. I said don't touch. Let's see if we can figure that out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can figure that out because we need him back for the special. I can't hear you yet. No, not at all. I'll let you know once I can hear you. Mario says we wrote off 70% of our annual budget in debt. I'm telling you, I'm looking at, I don't know. Let me know if you can interpret this. The Punch Nigerian News says, despite the cancellation of legacy balances, fresh debts built up in 2025 remain. In a separate section titled NNPC Limited Outstanding Obligations, the regulator disclosed that statutory obligations arising between January and October 2025 still stood at $56 million, and I think it's 1 trillion naira for PSC and MCA liftings and JV royalty receivables, respectively. I can't hear you yet, sir. You might have to let me push you out. Come back in. I'll push you out. You come back in. Grab the phone. I can't hear you. I just see your mouth moving. Let me see. Nope. I'm gonna push you out. Just hit the link from and then come back in. Okay. All right. So let's try that. Let's try that. One more. This thing's man. Yeah, so I don't know. Do you understand what they're talking about? It's just a lot of numbers all over the place. You know, there might be some global investors out there that can find a reason, I guess, to be more interested in pouring some more money. Maybe it just looks good enough to continue to steal money, allegedly. I don't know, you know, but it looks like this is just another, let's just fulfill all righteousness to me, you know. Writing up debt is I don't know if there's the only context where this could ever be good is you know, starting on a clean slate, you know, similar to bankruptcy, you know. But if we know that bankruptcy is never really a good thing by itself, then this is not a good thing. But if it helps, maybe as a fresh start, because after all, Nigeria is a sovereign country, so I'm sure there will always be some level of interest, even if it's simply because of the resources, even if it's human resources alone, you know. So let me see. So they are operating at a 50 million. Are you talking about dollar or naira? You got to be talking about dollar every month, and they are selling oil. Yes, this is. I think this is part of the noise that Dangote was making noise about some few weeks ago. I think this is part of it, you know. So they're trying to patch to just look at NNPC is owned by Nigeria? It's a Nigerian corporation, right? So of course Nigerian corporation is run by these people that, you know, the cabals, the people that run the government. So do you think they have the best interests of the regular Nigerians? Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. All right, let's see. I think it's coming back in. All right, let's see if we can position. I can hear you. Can I hear you? Let me see.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Let's just position the camera.
Sabotage.
Yeah. That's that's the thing with these things. I say, I can hear you, don't touch. And then the next thing you did is exactly touch. Reflex.
Yeah, it is all right.
All right. So move it closer to the flower a little bit. All right. All right, perfect. And then all right, so we were just looking at the numbers and seeing if some of the if Marriott can make sense of some of the reports in Punch Nigerian News. I think she's just as confused as the rest of Nigerians. She said, if you don't fix the issues, will you write off corruption and ineptitude every year? Who do us now? They've been doing that for years.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a culture. It's a mindset. It's a systemic thing. Just throw something at them, let the number be huge, and then they will be fine.
Yeah,
they will be okay, and nobody will be okay with that. This kind of mendacity really does not help anybody, and Nigeria must roll like a place where there is a culture that people matter, their hard-earned money. So I've been supporting the system also matters.
Sorry, rest back into your seat so that you can be positioned well. Rest back, straightforward.
Thank you.
All right, yeah.
Am I still making sense?
Yeah, you're good, yeah.
Yeah, so that is the...
All right, we're going to move into the special. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, share, subscribe, join the conversation. Let us know, maybe you understand better than us. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments, and we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our final leg of the hour. Let's welcome back the publisher, editor-in-chief, High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun, for the special from SharpEdgeNews.com. What do you have for us today, sir?
Oh, thank you very much. Our special got with to do with our interaction with certain critical sectoral leads in Nigeria, some leaders in some critical sectors of the Nigerian economy in the last few days. And number one, apart from talking to people, because Nigeria really projected this expectation of having Department of Livestock or Livestock Ministry, breaking that out of the former Federal Ministry of Agriculture, and we've been interacting to see what is already on the ground on how that sector of the economy is functioning, and we find out that the impact in this this year that is passing on, this year that is almost gone, the impact is not being fully felt, particularly when we consider between what the practices are, the best practices are in most parts of the world, in terms of production of quality meat, in terms of the other value chain concerning livestock in Nigeria, especially cattle rearing, something that's been so critical to the issue of terrorism, banditry, rustling, all forms of violence in Nigeria. We find out that Nigeria cannot escape the possibility of introducing huge ranches, and interacting with American farmers here, like a friend called Michael Holmes, who has what you would call small-scale cattle ranch somewhere here in the state of Kansas. What we find out is that to keep just one cow in America, a farmer needs an average of about 6 acres. 6 acres. And for this farmer that's done so well with himself, keeping his ranch, he keeps about 17 cattle on a ranch of 80, about 80 acres. So, and he is doing that on a small scale. But the economic scale of that also involves making sure that conservation is pursued. This thing that people say, oh, the colonial time nomadic routes all over Nigeria should be kept, it's been encouraged and all that. No, people should just consider investing on ranches. That way, city water system or state water system can also make some money irrigating and making a pond or pool of water available for cows to drink. If you make those cows to wander around the country range free, honestly, the quality of meat and whatever is coming from there will not be okay. And it is a kind of rotation on all these acres of land where cattle are reared in the United States, and then make sure that you are ready to also grow your own corn instead of just allowing your cattle to range into to plots of farms belonging to farmers who are already taking too much toll in terms of economic hardship in Nigeria, and then securing facilities that will make sure that when losses are incurred, these cattle owners can also get some reprieve. That is the little perspective we are bringing on that. Again, from there we move to the celebrations going on in many departments in Nigeria today, not just departments, ministries, and parastatals, particularly correctional service, where a good number of personnel were promoted recently by the management of Nigeria Correctional Service, led by Mr. Sylvester Ndidi Nwakoche. These people whose promotions have been stagnated wrote their promotions exam. For those who passed, they were promptly promoted. And this week, the majority of them were smiling to the bank because they are receiving alerts in their account showing that backlog of unpaid promotional allowances and pending entitlements were being paid. And guess what? This man works beyond normal hours. We don't want to say too much about what we discovered concerning him, but we find out that the culture of breaking prisons in Nigeria by people who compromise at times or saboteurs, that's being rolled back, and it's getting so fun. But what our system cannot yet boast of is the huge amount of funds that will be needed to really make sure that things work. And this is where the president is really giving the Interior Minister in Nigeria, Mr. Oladimeji Abitogun, some encouragement to get creative and get more aggressive in making sure that the system works. But certainly with that Ministry of Interior, with Correctional Service, people seem to be really celebrating the season in the hope that the new year is going to see better productivity in that ministry. Finally, all kinds of celebrations all over Nigeria. Of course, a road festival to show, where Oladimeji Abitogun was given the grace of being part of people celebrating the rite of passage into the cadre of confirmed elders in that community. And in Lagos, Nigeria, the Eyo Festival took place 27th of December. And I mean, fantastic display of culture and making sure that the people are able to really embrace their own in a time when all kinds of alien celebrations have really overshadowed the land. In Kwara State, same thing, and all over Nigeria. Eastern Nigeria is having a major respite. The states in the eastern part of Nigeria, they're having very huge respite, the kind of rebirth, having emerged from that season of panic and fear. So many people are all over the country relishing and savoring the feel of what this season offers. So that is it from all over Nigeria and in America. It's work very hard, play hard, and make sure you earn the dollar. And so finally, please, we should all learn to celebrate and know that there are boundaries. We can't, because of celebration, play dirty and make others uncomfortable around us. And then in personal life, let us respect people's standard. If somebody says he is not alive for greed and avarice, what is called primitive acquisitive tendency, it is my float if I say I want to have several houses, but it depends on the size of your pocket. And there is no shame in having a small pocket and getting your own little villa. But are you really touching lives? And when your life is touched and you are blessed, are you humble enough to appreciate and express gratitude to God, the giver of all good things, particularly life? Ola, for you and I and everybody, this season calls for real celebration. I'm still celebrating. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Are you listening?
I'm listening. Can you hear me?
I am a survivor. And I
hear me, right?
Showing gratitude to all of you around me, people who impact my life in big and small ways, because that is the way God does it. I am grateful.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Yeah. So on that note, we are wishing personally from the state of SharpEdgeNewsTV.com and TV a prosperous new year ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm wishing all of you the same thing. Marriott, Natu, and our new guest here, Chris Nell, and everybody that watch, all the new subscribers, we're wishing you a brand new, fresh 2026, successful 2026. And we actually, this platform right here just clocked 2 years. So the Mantu is on. We're still going hard. And condolences to everybody that's feeling the impact of that crazy news with I describe it as crazy because to be honest with you, I'm still very angry with that news about Anthony Joshua. And
not just that crazy news about Anthony Joshua as a colleague. Also, I mean, as people are really celebrating this season, you should know that some people are also really having a downside wherever they are. But do everything possible to avoid persons that would push you into depression or gang up, make sure your life is short-lived. No, you've got every reason to be happy and live your life. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. I wanted to read this as a roundup. I really don't want to finish the year on a bad note, but just as a cautionary tale, I guess. This is a posting, I guess, from the team of Anthony Joshua. It says, emotional impact of crash impossible to measure. Joshua had only just returned to the ring after more than a year out, beating Jake Paul on Netflix in what was a huge payday. And it was in Nigeria simply to spend New Year with family when this tragedy struck. The plan had been for Joshua to fight again in Saudi Arabia in February before eventually moving towards the long talked about Tyson Fury bout later in 2026. But right now, those plans feel secondary. Joshua has lost two people close to him, friends first and foremost, including his long-term strength and conditioning coach, Gami, and the emotional impact of that is impossible to measure. Gami was by his side throughout the fight week in Miami and joined him in the ring after his win over Paul. A lot of people are talking about all the different measures. People are looking for what to blame right now. Honestly, a system is a system. You know, we do have accidents here in America as well, but what we do also have is a good emergency response system. We do have that. You know, things happen. You know, so I think measures to prevent this kind of stuff, it has to be both proactive and reactive. It has to be both. You know. I see a lot of people talking about the trailer on the road. FRSC says because of the speeding, you know, people are saying all kind of stuff. But the issue is systemic. If we're going to fix anything as we move forward into the future, we need to start thinking systems.
Ola, let me say this. Remember a similar tragedy that befell us in our family a few years back. It was because of a stationed articulating vehicle by the side of the road, and all 5 people precious to us in our family perished in that accident. So it doesn't have to happen all the time. It's just it's too frequent in Nigeria. But it doesn't mean that the system cannot be fixed. That is just the point to be made. Yes.
All right, I have so much to say on that, but I'm personally on hiatus right now, so let me leave it alone. And 2026 is going to be strong. Let's get ready. Marriott, I see you. Shout out to you. She said, have I read Why Nations Fail? No, I haven't. I think you sent me something like that. I haven't. Marriott, please remind me. Send it to me again. Thank you. All right, Chief. Thank you so much.
Do you want us to read it before you sign off?
No, it's a book. I think it's a book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
she recommended it in the past.
Enjoy it, and let me have a synoptic view or review of whatever it is about.
Yes. I think you sent it to me. I'll see if I can retrieve it. If I can, I'll let you know. All right. Take care, everybody.
Wish you well for the new year ahead.
Yes.
God bless.
Take care. Bye now.